How is everybody doing? This is Dustin Coyle. Y'all are tuned into Intelligent Thoughts. This is the Daily Wager for Friday, April 28th, 2017. Still working on that theme song. I tell you what, man, we might have a theme song coming. I hope so. I'm not the greatest musician of all time. Nor do I have the most time to pop out a theme song or anything like that. But that sounds fun. All right, how about yesterday, huh? Pretty easy one to call. San Antonio. Closer game than I thought it was going to be. San Antonio beats Memphis 103-96. Get a little bit of money there. Let's take a look at the box score here. Kawhi finishes with 29, 9 rebounds, 17 and 12 for LaMarcus Aldridge. Tony Parker, 27 points. Great game for him. In the loss for Memphis, Conley, another great game, 26 points in 44, almost 45 minutes. Gasol also plays almost 45 minutes. He provides 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Zach Randolph with 13 and 11. San Antonio wins the series 4-2. Pretty easy to call. Like I said, I thought it was either going to go 6 or 7. After the 2 blowouts, though, in the first 2 games, I was kind of surprised that Memphis ended up playing this well, and it was a competitive series the rest of the way. But that is what happened. And a pretty good overall series right there. And how about the other game? We got it right again. Toronto +1. They win by 3, 92-89. They also win in 6 games. They were up, let's see, at one point by 25 points in the third quarter. And Milwaukee actually came back to take the lead by 2, and then I didn't really see what happened after that, but they obviously came back to win 92-89. 32 points for DeMar DeRozan, 13 points for Kyle Lowry. Nobody else in double digits figures for them. They only put up 92 for the night. Not the most fantastic performance. 5 steals for DeRozan. Kyle Lowry, 3 steals. Pretty good defensively there. In the loss, Giannis puts up 34 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Traditional Giannis stat line there. 19 points for Chris Middleton, 12 points for Dellavedova off the bench. Not a lot of scoring there for Milwaukee either, obviously. And then 3 points, too few to get the win. So, let's get to today. All right, game 1 of the evening, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Kind of a random dual broadcast on ESPNU of all places and NBA TV. Not sure at all how that works out or why they would do that. We have game 6 in the Washington Wizards Atlanta Hawks series. Washington at Atlanta, game 6. Let's read a little bit here in the preview. Dennis Schroeder looked fantastic in basically every game of the series, but Game 5 specifically looked fantastic. They kind of played better defensively against John Wall. He scored a series-low 20 points, including the game-winning shot, or the game's clinching shot at least. So it's not not still like the greatest performance of all time, but he was torching him up for 30 plus earlier, and so. This is, it was their best performance against him for sure. Beal actually, though, kind of went off in his absence. 59 points over the 2 games for Beal, shoots just under 50%. Dwight Howard isn't even playing in the fourth quarter right now. Big money free agent that they signed last year. He has played a total of 16 minutes and 32 seconds in the 5 fourth quarters in the series. That's an average of what? Like 3.5 minutes or so per fourth quarter. And it has just 4 points and 3 rebounds, which is, a terrible, terrible stat line. For 16.5 fucking minutes, that's ridiculous. Other news, what happened? Bogdanovich scored 14 points in Game 5, the 3rd straight game. He has put up at least 10, coming off the bench each time, obviously. So we'll see what he can do, what he can provide in this one. That was obviously a great, great pickup there at the end of the, right before the trade deadline for Washington. And he was available to go other places, you know. I mean, Boston really could have used him or other teams. And what else? So backup forward Jason Smith will be a game time decision. Not going to be the worst thing for Washington, but obviously you do want you want to have everybody available if you can. All right, let's take a look at the spread here. All right, we have the Hawks favored by 3 with the low juice and money line minus 145 for Atlanta, plus 125 for Washington. I think that I like Atlanta in this game. To me, this game should be a pick 'em though, so I'm really not even going to bet on this game. I say you stay away from it. Atlanta looked pretty damn good. They only lost by 4 the other day in Washington, and it took quite a performance from Bradley Beal to do that. Schroeder seems to be damn near impossible to stop. A really, really good shooter, underrated shooter with a great stroke. Doesn't jump too much. I expect him to have a great game tonight. Paul Millsap, I expect to have a great game. And I'm not super sure that the Wizards are really at that mature level where they can go close somebody out in Game 6. Maybe the way that we saw happen last night by 2 teams that I felt are a little more down that road. On that note, though, they could do it. John Wall could have a fantastic, they're the better team in my opinion. John Wall, Bradley Beal can go off at any point. And so they could obviously win this game. I'm still going to pick them in 7 games. I just don't know who to pick here. So we stay away from it. All right, we move on to a 6 o'clock p.m. game on ESPN, the first of the ESPN lineups of the night. We have another Game 6 here, Boston at Chicago. Chicago obviously won the first 2. Boston has won the next 3 games, or the 3 most recent games. They won 108-97 on Wednesday. They finished the game on a 20-4 run. Isaiah had 24 points, but I think 6 for 17 from the field, 1 for 10 from downtown, so it wasn't his typical type of game. Avery Bradley chipped in 24 for him. It looks like Rondo's not going to play, which, as I have said almost every single time that I've talked about this game, Rondo, as you can tell from the 2 games he was in, and the obvious difference between the 3 games he hasn't been in, he is the catalyst for Chicago winning this series. If he doesn't play tonight, I expect Boston to go in there. It'll be a good game for sure. They could lose, but I like Boston's chances in Game 6 with Rondo out. If Rondo does play, I think I like the Bulls at home, but it looks like he says he is not going to play, but it's not impossible. So hold out on this one for a second. It doesn't start till 6 o'clock. Let's go take a look at the spread. -3 for the Celtics. I will say that a day ago, like earlier yesterday morning, that was a pick'em game. -147 for the Celtics, plus 127 for the Bulls. Yeah, that was a pick'em game yesterday morning. I think there was, quite a bit of speculation about who, if Rondo was going to be able to come back. A lot of people were thinking he was going to be back for Game 5. It looks like it might be a more serious injury than previously they kind of had been letting out. So it looks like he might be out for the rest of the series. He has kind of indicated that is going to be the case, which is random because he played through the broken thumb for, I'm not sure how many minutes, but a part of the game without anybody even knowing it was broken. So, let's just wait this one out. If you hear the word that Rondo's out, put money on Boston. That's going to be a good pick tonight, I think. All right, and the final game of the evening, 8:30 p.m. ESPN also, going to be the second half of the doubleheader. The Los Angeles Clippers at the Utah Jazz, another Game 6. Jazz have won the last 2 with Rudy Gobert back. He has been the more dominant force of the centers between him and Jordan. Pretty much neutralized Jordan. Made Chris Paul kind of a lone show. He did get a lot of help from Redick. I think Redick had high 20s Game 5. And then Crawford had, I think, high 20s in Game 4. But, let me look, he's averaging, what's Chris Paul? Chris Paul's averaging 27 points, 10.4 assists, and 5.6 rebounds per game this series. Great stat line for Chris Paul there. Probably isn't going to be enough, though. Basically, everybody is contributing for Utah. This series would probably be over if they hadn't had 2 games missed by Gobert and basically like 1 game by Gordon Hayward. Joe Johnson, of course, has stepped up, hit clutch shots. He's averaging, I think, 21 points per game in the fourth quarters in Utah's win, or 21 points per game, in Utah's wins. Not in the fourth quarter, that's ridiculous. But Boris Diaw's obviously stepped up. George Hill's played very well. And then both Hayward and Gobert are supposed to be healthy tonight, so that obviously is going to lead to a little bit of a favorage for Utah there. Blake Griffin still, he's out for the remainder of the postseason with that toe injury to the plantar plate or whatever, the plantar fascia plate or whatever it's called. I don't. They're going to have to get a monstrous performance from probably DeAndre Jordan and another one of those wing players, J.J. Redick or Jamal Crawford, They're going to have to get a monstrous performance from one of these people in order to get a win here tonight. I really like Utah. Let's go take a look at the spread. So does everybody else, it looks like. -5.5 for Utah at home. And again, too, they have such a great home court advantage. It's a ruckus building to be in. There's no other professional sports, like major professional sports in Utah there. So the Jazz kind of command the energy of the city as far as that's concerned. Obviously not the case with LA, and especially concerning the Clippers. But, they have such veteran leadership with Paul. They can usually withstand it. Again, the elevation, too, could be a problem. I don't know. Everybody gets a little bit winded. It is a little bit different. -245 is going to be the money line for Utah. +205 for the Clippers. I like Utah -245 to shut the series out. End it on their home floor tonight. I like that game a lot. That to my knowledge, is the easiest game to pick of the night. Followed by Boston there. All right. And what do we have here? Jazz series prices. You got the Jazz series price there at -450. And that's not a horrible price. It's actually quite a lot to pay, though, considering they'd have to win. I don't know. Compared to the spread, actually, I guess that isn't fantastic. You could just bet a lot on this spread here. Because they're probably not going to be a favorite if they go back to LA. Anyway, tangent thoughts there. All right, let's do a little recap here. We're going to take Boston -1. What was it, 47? Where are we? Jesus, it already switched. Man, people listen to me live or something. -155 is going to be the Celts. -245 is going to be the Jazz. Let's make our money. Let's enjoy that. This has been the Daily Wager for April 28th, 2017. I hope you enjoyed the show. More so, I hope you enjoyed the thoughtful information, the intelligent, thoughtful information, even that. I'll talk to you later. I love you.